Electromagnetic spectrum. What is the electromagnetic spectrum? The electromagnetic spectrum is the entire range of radiation. What is a radiation? Radiation is all energy that is released in the form of waves, or rays. Electromagnetic radiation, energy carried through space in the form of waves. What are some examples of radiation? 1. Gamma rays. Gamma ray bursts are the most powerful events in the universe, temporarily outshining several galaxies and likely signaling the birth of a black hole. What are some uses for radiation? Gamma rays are used in the sterilization of medical equipment by killing bacteria. To kill bacteria and insects in food. What are some examples of radiation? 2. X-rays. X-rays can penetrate most materials except lead shielding. When they were discovered, the X stood for unknown, because they were so mysterious. The name has been used ever since. What are some uses for radiation? X-rays are used to examine luggage and in airports, detect structural problems and cracks in airplanes and bridges. Most common use of X-rays is in medicine and dentistry. What are some examples of radiation? 3. Ultraviolet rays. The name means beyond violet since violet is the color with the shortest wavelength in the visible light spectrum. And UV is even a shorter wavelength than violet. UV rays from a tanning bed. What are some uses for radiation? UV rays are used in security, to help thwart counterfeiters. Forensics, helpful in locating and identifying bodily fluids, blood. What are some examples of radiation? 4. Visible light rays. The type of radiation that can be detected by human eyes. It contains the colors of Roy G. Biv. What colors make up visible light? Visible light rays contain Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. What are some examples of radiation? 5. Infrared rays. Infra means below. Infrared rays have longer wavelengths than visible red light. They are the barely visible, deep red rays you get from a heat lamp. What are some uses for radiation? Infrared rays are used in photography, to take pictures in places where there is no visible light. Military uses include night vision goggles, etc. And remote controls, burglar alarms also use infrared. What are some examples of radiation? 6. Microwaves. Have wavelengths that can be measured in centimeters. The longer microwaves, those closer to 30 centimeters, are the ones which heat our food in microwave ovens. Shorter microwaves are used in remote sensing. These waves are used for radar like Doppler, used in weather forecasts. What are some uses for radiation? Microwaves are used for communication, cable, broadband, Bluetooth. Before fiber optics, most long-distance phone calls were sent via microwave. Remote sensing. Radars use microwaves to detect range and speed of remote objects. Used in Doppler radar weather, air traffic control, navigation of ships, and of course, speed limit enforcement. Navigation, global positioning systems, GPS, use microwaves. Heating food. What are some examples of radiation? 7. Radio waves. Radio waves have the longest wavelengths in the electromagnetic spectrum. These waves can be longer than a football field or as short as a football. What are some uses for radiation? Radio waves are used for radios and TVs, garage door openers, alarm systems, radio-controlled toys, electromagnetic radiation. Let's summarize. The entire range of radiation includes gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, visible light rays, infrared rays, microwaves, radio waves, electromagnetic radiation. Radio waves have the longest wavelength and the lowest frequency. Gamma rays have the shortest wavelength and the highest frequency.